Hello, everyone. So, today is our trip to Washington, D.C., and so we are going through the Baltimore downtown to get there. As you can see, it was a very cloudy day that day, so we had to take the back roads to avoid the tolls because apparently, if you go to the freeway, you have to pay a toll. So, we just went through the back roads to avoid the toll over to D.C. You can see all these nice trees here. It was still early March, so that's why there were no leaves at the time. But as we go through the downtown here, you can see the beautiful parking lot there. And then up ahead, there is going to be more parking lots and more buildings on the outskirts there. And so there's more to see as we go through here. As you can see here in the next clip, you're going to see a video of an advertisement there and the little clock tower that is up on the right hand side of your screen. So we were just going through this, and over here is the University of Maryland campus, if I recall correctly. And this is one of the stadiums in the Baltimore region. So we were taking this route to head to the freeway over to DC. Took us quite a while since we were coming from Bayview area. This is the other stadium that is here, and this is Fort Meade's exit. And then over here is another sign. And then this is when we already entered Washington, D.C. We were heading towards downtown here. And then over here is the other part of the freeway. And this is when we were trying to find the Washington Monument that's going to be coming up soon. Here you are. This is the Washington Monument. So this is the bridge that you have to go under. And then we were looking at it from the outside. And this one is a more closer view of the monument here. And then this is an even closer view. I just wanted to get closer so I can just get a better view of it for my viewers here on Jarrell TV. And then here is the water. This is the building on that side. There is the White House. I think it's self-explanatory who's there. And then this here is another federal building. So yeah, there was a tour guide there. And then over here, I think this was the theater, I believe. And then on the other side, they were having an event over there. I believe they were having a running event on the right-hand side of that screen there. And then on that side, here's more of that event. And then you can see here the Ronald Reagan building. And this is the Woodrow Wilson Plaza here. They have a few shops down there. And then if we zoom out here, you're going to see the Environmental Protection Agency and the Woodrow Wilson Center. And over here is some food trucks that they were having in DC at the time. And then there you see the Capitol right across. And this is some food that my mom and I got some fun. And over here is the other part of Washington, D.C. here. We were looking around after we ate pho, and there was a Chase Bank. There was some other foods over there that were pretty cool as well. There's a mall. There is the John Hopkins bird, so we drove back up to Hopkins to take pictures of the birds and the little ladybugs and the bees. And then we went over to a area here where they had this nice bay called Fells Point. So I highly recommend going to Fells Point if you have the chance to visit Hopkins, because it's very beautiful at the nighttime here. And over here, this is the rest of the bay here that you're looking at. And then over here, this is the hotel. This is the food we ate nearby that hotel. And then over here, we were just looking at the other stuff that they have here, other restaurants. And so those are the restaurants that you see on the right-hand side. This is an oyster bar, kind of expensive. And then that was the Waterfront Hotel. believe that was on a show I watched. And then there were some more shops here on the right hand side of your screen. This is the Abbey that we saw here. And then if we go on this side, this is the Sky, I believe. And the next day we went towards the Capitol area here. And this is one of the statues. And then on this side, we're going through the downtown. And we were looking for a place to eat. So I was just scrolling on my iPhone to see what was open. Lexington Market was not open yet, so we ended up skipping that one. This is the arena that they have here in Baltimore. And then this was one of the other parts of the downtown area. And if we keep going, there's more of the downtown down here. And then I forgot what that name of the place was. But if you keep going up ahead, there is some views here that we were looking at. And one of the views that we wanted to look at was that they had a park that they recommended called Drood Park. And so hopefully I said that right. And so if you go down here, there's the freeway. And this one is exiting towards the Baltimore Zoo, as you can see here. And then this is Drood Park. So at the time of this recording, I'm just going to be very honest, it was very cold. So I was not surprised that there were no leaves on the trees. And the cold does not make it easy for these trees to grow, right? So there's a mansion in the back there. And then there were some people walking there. And then over here, this is a great view of the Drood Park. And then this is some trees again that we were going through. And over here was the bay again, or I would consider it more of like a river per se. And then if we keep going up ahead, they had like a visitor center that was there. And then over here, it looks like they had an amusement park on the left-hand side. And then this is the Mount Vernon Marketplace. So I highly recommend this place. They have a lot of good foods to eat. We tried a Mediterranean place here, and it was pretty good. Here, I was trying to film the list of places that you can eat here. So highly recommend if you go to Hopkins. And this is the restaurant that we ate at. It was pretty good Mediterranean food. And so over here, you can see the baklava over there, which was really good. This is the dish that we ordered. And then over here, this is the sign that said, "Be more kind." And over here is the rest of downtown. And so here, there's some birds that were flying everywhere around the dock area, which was very, very nice to see. It was a pretty windy day for the most part, so all the birds were kind of just flying everywhere when the wind came. And so then we went to the airport right after. And then I was on my way back to the Bay Area. We had to do a little layover in Las Vegas. As you can see, there's the guy holding the lights. And so the Southwest plane was taking off. Was leaving Baltimore. I was saying bye-bye, Baltimore. And then we were up in that air. And mind you, there was a lot of turbulence going up. And then there was a lot of turbulence going to Vegas. I don't know what it is, but Baltimore and Vegas have a lot of turbulence during these months. And so here's the plane landing back into Vegas here. It was very nice with all those lights over there. And so this is our landing here back into the Vegas airport. And so as you can see, all the lights were showing. You can see the Mandalay Bay as well as that pyramid. And then over here, I was walking to the other side of the gate. My airplane was all the way on the other side of the airport. So I had to walk, I believe it was from A to C. So you don't want to know how long that walk was. And so this is me getting on that plane after the layover was completed. And so we went and we kept on going. And you can see the sphere over there. I think that was only built a couple of years ago. They've had some EDM events there as well as other excursions that you can go on. So that's pretty cool. And so this is the plane taking off to head back to the Bay Area. I was heading into Oakland. And then you can see that Vegas view. And then over here, this was Oakland that we're looking at, and San Leandro. And this is the plane landing right here.